Hello, welcome to Sun TV. I'm the Conway Daily Sun's education editor, Lloyd Jones, and as you know by now, it's political season. We've got lots of races, 4 contested races in the town of Conway. The biggie on my beat is the Conway School Board, and we've got 4 candidates seeking 2 3-year seats. And today we're joined by 2 of those people who'd like to lay claim to them. We've got Brittany Hodge here and Melanie Lebel. Thank you guys so much for coming in. And you got about less than 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Less than 2 weeks. So you got to get out there. You got to kiss babies. You got to shake hands. You got to do all sorts of stuff. Record your TV ads and all that. No. No. So, Brittany, tell the audience a little bit about yourself. You grew up here.
I did, yes. So I am a lifelong resident of Conway in North Conway. I went to John Fuller and to Pine Tree. Did my middle school and high school here too. I now live here full time. I've got an 8-year-old son who's in the school district and here with my husband as well. So.
And what are you doing for work?
I am a mortgage loan officer with Meredith Village Savings Bank.
Super busy. Just booked back from Bedford.
Yes, I did. Yep.
And Melanie, how about you?
So I'm a mom of 4 boys.
Yeah.
And
Soccer boys.
Soccer boys, all of them. My husband's a soccer coach at the high school. We own a local business, and I'm kind of everywhere. I volunteer everywhere. I also have a new thing I'm starting. Not going to say that publicly yet.
Ooh,
but
scoop? Give us a scoop.
I can't. But all 4 boys, I have 2 at Mountainside and 2 at the high school. So we're kind of all over the place.
Is it tough to say Mountainside?
Not for me, no.
Not for
I'm used to it. I love it.
Are you used to the name?
Yes.
Are you?
Yeah.
It took a little while. I think my first month, every time I'd call the school, they'd say Pine Tree or Conway L, and I'd say, yeah, that's right. And then now we've got the flow down. So a 3-year term. You're just finishing up a 1-year term.
Yeah.
What made you want to go for 3? You ready?
I'm ready. I wanted to test my waters first and see if that was really something I enjoyed committing to and putting the energy into, and I do. I love it, and I think it's an important job, and I think that I'm passionate enough to keep going and make some positive changes.
Was it what you thought it would be, Mel, being on the school board?
This is probably not the exciting answer, but yes.
Is it? I mean, I know there's just, I get blown away by the number of committees, and then I think in the past year, I think we probably added 3 or 4 more committees. And
Yes, but short-term ones.
yeah, hopefully short-term ones.
Yeah.
I mean, you're super busy with that. And Brittany, dive right into 3 years? No 1 year?
No 1 year. I have been very involved in the schools through the PTO since my son entered kindergarten. So I've seen a lot and I've paid attention to a lot, and there's definitely a lot of good work that I feel can be done, and 1 year just is not enough time to do that.
Yeah. And why are you running for school board? I guess that's the biggie question everyone asks. Why are you running?
I am running because I feel that there are changes that can be made, and I think you need open minds and people who are willing to be transparent about things and open and honest. And I've sat on, I'm going to say on the side, but on the PTO, very passionate and very involved, and I was like, all right, I've got too much passion to sit on the outside now. I need to jump in. So
Yeah, love your passion. Don't ever lose that. And Mel, why run again? You've done a lot.
I enjoy it.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things that I'm very deep into that I would love to see go farther and get finished. And there's some things I still want to start that I haven't been able to just because of this hectic year. We changed schools, we had new configurations, we had a lot going on.
Oh my gosh, new superintendent?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if you had to pick a year to be on the school board and write a book or make a movie about it, this was probably the one.
I agree.
That was an awful lot. I mean, my gosh. So was there anything you learned on this, a little bit about yourself? You managed your time well? You found, like, I really like this committee, which I didn't think I would? Or
Well, luckily enough, Amy Snow was the chair when we did committees this time, and she kind of asked everybody's opinion, like, which ones are you most interested in?
Yeah.
So I luckily got committees that I was already interested in and passionate about. So I was naturally very well vested in them.
Yeah.
So I feel like it was good all around.
Would you like to continue on those committees, or?
I would. I
Yeah.
mean, there's a couple more I would like to be on.
Yeah.
And I could trade the other. No, I just want to add more.
Is there a favorite committee that you like, or?
Policy.
Policy?
Yeah.
Really? Oh my God, the paperwork with that.
But it's important.
It is.
It's very important, and there's a lot more that needs to be changed.
Yeah. How about you, Brittany? Is there any committees that interest you, or haven't looked at the list, or?
So, I mean, I've scanned the list just from the times that I've been at the school board meetings, and I was at one of the school board meetings when they assigned when Mel was elected. I'm interested in policy because.
Are you really?
Yes.
You guys, my goodness.
Well, when you look at them,
I mean, I'd steer clear of that one.
some of them are so gray. You
Yeah.
need some.
Yeah.
You need some context.
I know. I mean, we battled with a dress code. We're talking cell phones. There's a lot.
That's one of my favorite changes this
Yeah, I
year.
know. And you're on the safety committee, and
I'm not. No, Michaela is.
Michaela's on the safety committee.
Michaela
yeah.
and Matt.
That's another important committee that we formed. And
Yes.
neither one of you wants to be the liaison to the budget committee, do you?
Well, I think somebody's on there right now that enjoys it.
Yeah, Mike seems
So
to.
I believe he'll want to keep going, and unless somebody else is super passionate about it, I
Yeah.
would if it was needed, but I don't think it's needed right now.
Yeah. What skills do you think you guys would bring to the board?
So this is one of the questions that I get a lot. And I was like, well, I definitely don't have a background in education, so I'm not an expert there. I feel like what I would bring to the board is open mind, like I said, authenticity, transparency, and just being open. I'm not like I feel like sometimes there's a lot of high tensions around certain topics,
Yeah.
and it can be hard to look beyond the feelings of that. And there are definitely some things that I think have been hot button topics that do need a little bit more to be looked into a little
Yeah.
bit further. And even as a parent and a super supporter of the teachers and everything, I do think that there's work that can be done in some of those areas.
Yeah,
So,
and you'd be our second eagle on the board, alumni.
yep.
You bring that sort of perspective. I like that.
Yeah.
And Mel?
So like I said, I'm a parent of 4 boys, so I kind of have a good idea of what's going on in the schools currently. Like Brittany with the PTO, I mean, we have kind of firsthand knowledge of what's going on day to day, what's going well, what's not going well, what the kids say, what the families are happy with, what they're not happy with.
Yeah.
My kids are heavily involved in our community too, so I hear from lots of people in our community about things they love, things they hate, things they want changed. So, I mean, I have that voice for them, and I feel like that's important.
Yeah, and both being parents, I think that's an important tool too, just so you get that perspective. You get to see, you're probably both in the schools more than most parents. Just, yeah, super active. So this was a question that I threw out the other day, and it was, when you guys were in school, what was your favorite course, favorite class? Did you have a favorite class when you were at Kennett, or when
Who do you
were
want
in
to
school?
answer first?
You go for it.
Okay. Mine was always English.
Was it really?
Yeah, writing in English. I loved it. I remember I finished all my credits in English maybe 2 years early, and I took everything that was offered.
Did you? Where'd
yeah.
you go to high school?
Freiburg Academy.
Freiburg Academy. Oh gosh, you had some good teachers over there.
Yeah. Great teachers. I still know and love some of them.
No one
Yeah.
loves some of them.
Yeah. Well, some of them aren't around
Yeah,
anymore.
I know.
They're out of the area. But I mean, my favorite teachers that were around when I was in high school, I still keep in touch with.
Do you
They're still
really?
around. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's great.
Brittany?
So I was the second graduating class from the high school on Eagles Way.
Oh, you were 2009.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
So I got to experience a lot of the updated career tech center. So
that's true.
Melanie actually sent me a picture of it. But one of my favorite things that I did while I was in high school was I was in the hospitality class structure club, and we were actually the first national champions
Were you
to come
really?
out of
Oh my gosh.
so Melanie actually just sent me a picture that it's still in the showcase.
trophy
Is it
case.
really?
Yeah.
Right outside the gym. I
How
was there for
cool is
soccer.
that?
Yeah, so I really enjoyed that part of my time at Kennett, is being in the Career Tech Center.
And what was it like to go 2 years at my high school and now 2 years at the new high school?
It was fun.
Was it a smooth transition? I mean, junior year, you're walking into this place, and it must have been a little different.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it was different.
Yeah.
You know,
So much better, cleaner. I mean,
yeah, but it was different, right? So like I always joke when we talk about the kids having to walk around the building when it's after normal arrival time, and I'm like, I had to walk uphill in the snow from Walmart. That's where I had to park.
that's right. Parking was down there, wasn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, so
Oh my gosh.
I don't have any negative memories of the transition.
No, that's
so.
good. And were you guys able to graduate outside, I hope?
No, we were inside.
Oh, rainy day?
Rainy day.
Oh,
Yeah.
God, if we could guarantee no more of those, that'd be nice.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We just need a little bit more to melt the snow.
This weekend's going to be awful. No, I
I
know.
wanted to hear about it.
So the phrase, the best education the taxpayers can afford, has been tossed around an awful lot. What do you think of that phrase now?
That
is
means
it
just
true or
picking out the weeds.
picking out the weeds?
Basically. I mean, they want to see more of what's actually necessary and not so much of the fluff. And I get that. I hear that. And we've looked at the courses and we've looked at the programming, and there are definitely changes that can be made.
Yeah. Brittany, you feel similar?
Yep, I would echo right in with Melanie. You know, I do think it's important for our children to have a well-rounded education and to get to experience all kinds of different things like I got to when I was in high school. But I do think that we need to be fiscally responsible as well, and really take a look line by line at, you know, what some of these courses are offering. And even if they are full, you know, if they're expensive, it might be time to kind of look into that. You know, we're in
Or if
tuition
they're hard to
negotiation.
staff.
Yeah, we're in tuition negotiations, so
Yeah.
we have to just be sure that whatever we're putting for a budget, if heaven forbid Ascending Town doesn't renew, that we're not leaving Conway taxpayers with a huge budget.
Well said. Now, one of the big issues, it's like the chicken or the egg question. It's in our school district, teacher retention is awful hard because some people say it's lack of money and benefits, and others just say it's housing. Is it a combination of both, Brittany, or is it one or the other, or what do you think?
I think it's definitely a combination of both. You know, I've spoken with some paraprofessionals who are like, I can drive 10 minutes further and make $5 more an hour. So, you know, I think it does come down to the amount they are paid, and then trying to get them in. We don't have the housing stock at an affordable price point compared to their salaries.
Yeah.
So I know all of us locals are in that situation. It's not just specific to teachers, but
I would love for your sons to be able to afford to live here when they want.
Same.
Yeah. I mean, Mel, you've gone through it on the board where we've had people accept positions and then, I'm sorry, I
Withdraw.
can't take the job. Yeah, withdraw because they couldn't find a place to live. I mean, what do you think we can do to improve that?
Well, we definitely need to increase the pay for our staff, but it's difficult when our town does not want to pay higher education taxes. So unfortunately, we're left with the only option that is reasonable is to increase staff little by little each year. So just to make it affordable and understandable to the taxpayer and to everyone's level. I mean, we have lots of different income levels, and we have to look at the lowest taxpayer and what can they afford. And yes, our teachers deserve more, but if our town isn't willing to pay it, we're in a tough spot. And obviously housing.
Yeah.
It's very expensive and it's very scarce.
Oh my God. And it's sort of a buyer's market for teachers. I mean, they're few and far between in some areas. I mean, I think science at the high school, didn't we go this past year short 2?
Yep.
Or something like that?
3.
3. Oh my gosh. Ugh.
3 over the past 3 years.
Ugh. All right, let's get on to the warrant. Are you ready to talk a little warrant article stuff? The budget. What do you will you be supporting the school board's proposed operating budget of $41,637,000, or the default figure, which is about $650,000 less? Mel?
I have voted to support it, and I will still support it, and it's what's needed, and we don't want to take anything that's necessary away from our children right now. And unfortunately, a lot of that increase is on special ed. So, I mean, if you take away any of those funds, it's going to go to general ed.
Yeah. I mean,
And-
if special ed had been level, I mean, that would have been 1.3 million less off this
Yes.
budget. I mean, that's just like, oof.
And a lot of people don't see that. They just think that, oh, we're choosing to spend more. We're putting more staff in the schools that's unneeded. No, it's not. This is mandated to pay. We don't have a choice.
And you got the contracts with the staff where I think health insurance is up 8.5%. You're committed to that. You can't not do it.
Right. But we're looking at options on ways to try to decrease the price on that.
Yeah. Brittany, do you support the budget or?
Yes, I support the school board's proposed budget for this year. I do really want to look in on the budget for next year, line by line, but I think at this point, cutting it is a disservice to everybody and, you know, the time that they put into it, but that doesn't mean that it can't change for next year. But
Yeah,
this year I will be.
Yeah, a $650,000 cut. Dr. Frechette, our superintendent, said that would probably mean personnel and maybe some programs, which would be,
Detrimental.
yeah, your first meeting, you got to go in there and you got to start addressing cuts. It's going to be really hard, I would think, and super emotional.
My first meeting as a school board member, we had to vote to close John Fuller.
Oh, God.
That is the worst night
Yeah.
ever.
Oh my gosh. And that was there are some who just say we didn't need to close a school, but when you're forced with a default budget that's 1 point something million less, you really didn't have much of an alternative, did you?
No, I mean, you could cut lots of different things, but then you're taking so much away from the kids. Whereas if you did close a school, you could essentially give more to the kids by creating more opportunities and combining them. And so all around, it was a better situation to close the school,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
yeah. Now you guys are both serving on the John Fuller Committee, which I think is really fascinating and interesting. I made it to my first meeting last week, and what do you guys have any vision for John Fuller yourselves, or are you just going to see where the ball takes us?
Who do you want to answer first?
I'll take it, Mel.
Brittany,
Okay, go for it.
I'll take it. So I have not been quiet about how I feel about the John Fuller property, so I won't be quiet about it now either.
Good.
I do 100% feel that we need to retain the property, and we need to have it generate a stream of revenue for the district. What that looks like, whatever happens in that building, what that looks like, I'm not sure yet, but you know, I think it's important that we start having that create revenue to offset the cost of the school budget for moving forward.
Mel?
So I want to echo a little bit of it. I
Yeah.
would like to retain it. I do think it's important that we keep this property, if at all, affordably. I would like to see us generating some kind of revenue to offset the education taxes. That would be great. But I do want to see community use. I want to see something where our community has benefit to it. I don't want to see a random business there. I want it to be something that our community benefits from or can use, and I want to see kids there.
Yeah. Well, you guys were good at pointing out and sharing that the building is being used now. I didn't realize there were so many people in there, which is kind of
Exactly.
good. So there is a little bit of revenue, but
It doesn't break even.
no. And then looking at the 5-year plan where they're talking about $6 million in more roofs, it was like, oh boy, how in the world do we get over that?
Exactly.
Yeah, I have no idea. And then there's 2 safety warrant articles. Number 10 seeks $100,000 to establish an expendable safety and security trust fund for upgrades and maintenance, which I envision being a lot of cameras and a lot of fixing doors, making everything kind of safe. And then, well, we'll start with that one. Do you guys support that one, or?
I do. That's just a small dent in what they actually need. And there's been lots of people saying, well, there's grant money for that. Well, there is. But when you Ms. Frechette at the deliberative explained that they have looked into that money and they have gotten money, but once that's received, it's equally split between our schools. So one big chunk doesn't go to one school or the other, so it's never enough to finish the projects that are there. So yes, I believe that they need that money. They'll eventually need more, but I don't want it to be a never-ending pit. I want to invest in some things that will last a long time, and this is just the beginning.
Yeah. Brittany, on Article 10?
I do support that warrant article. I think it is important that we start getting some security upgrades into the buildings, and you know.
Did you know there were cameras there when you were there, or
in high school?
Yeah.
Yes. Yep. But I mean, it goes even down to the elementary schools. It's important for at least getting some of that security brought up to standard.
Yeah. Now this one, number 11, I think might be the most talked about or maybe controversial one. It's, do you support $214,000 for the design phase of potentially relocating the front of Kennett High School to the rear of the building? What's your thoughts on this one, Mel?
Okay, so I voted for this to go as a warrant article because I think that the voters should have the choice to choose whether they want to support it or not. Personally, I'm undecided. I probably won't vote for it. There's a lot going on, and yes, there can be changes, but I don't think I think it's too much to ask right now. I think that we could easily put in a sidewalk for a fraction of the price. I think that there's a lot more that can be done temporarily, and we can bite this bullet later.
Yeah. Brittany?
I'm right with Mel on that one. This
Are
is
you?
not one that I support. It was I understand the timing of when it was designed and built, that it was a much different time in the world, but I don't think that necessarily it has to be changed. Like I joked, I walked uphill from Walmart in the snow from parking. So I don't think that that's something that really necessarily needs to be done.
Yeah.
I think if we're looking at doors being propped open and stuff like that, that's a little bit more of the day-to-day management and not necessarily a price tag that the taxpayers have to cover.
Now, you guys as parents, is it, do you have to have the safety conversation with your kids? Or do they come home and just say, we had another drill today, or we were in lockdown? I mean, I just can't fathom having to go through that during my high school experience. I never went through any of that, but I've been at Kennett where there have been 3 lockdowns, and we crowded into a small little closet in Paul Kale's class, and it was just like, it's real. And then I got stuck in the office one day, and we were there for almost 2 hours, and it was just, there's Conway police officers combing the building, and it's just like, I can't imagine as a parent how that must feel, and
Right.
how your children must feel.
So luckily, I don't think, aside from my youngest, my other children haven't experienced a real shutdown threat. My youngest child did when he was in Little Eagles at the high school. They had a shutdown, so we were actually called super quickly. They said they need to either, they're going to be here, they're going to be on lockdown, or you can pick up right now. Like, because there was a threat, an active threat, and they're right by that back door. So they were able to dismiss them.
Yeah. But your heart must be racing.
Yeah, but I'm like, oh my gosh, like, what do I do? What do all these other kids do that their parents can't pick them up, and we don't even know what's going on because they couldn't tell us.
Yeah.
It's scary. So I mean, the kids come home knowing a lot. The teachers are really great about explaining things, and I'm like, do you know why you do that? And they're like, yeah. And they tell me, and I'm like, wow, okay, there's not left much for me to say. So our teachers are amazing. They run everything really smoothly and really well, and make sure the kids all of their questions are answered, and that's about it.
Yeah. How about you, Brittany?
So honestly, it doesn't seem to faze my child when they do like the drills and stuff. I never hear about it. The only reason why I knew that they did some of those was because one day I was in John Fuller and they did one, and I was like, what does this mean? And you know, they're like, oh, it's fine, just, you know, stay. So to me, I think as sad as it is, I think our kids have grown up with this now as the normal that it's not weird to them.
I know.
It's normal to
Yeah,
them.
it's a shame that it's that way, but it's good that it's not that weight on their shoulders, so to
Right.
speak.
Yeah.
So let's go to a fun question. So when you guys were in school, high school, lunch, what was your favorite lunch? Did you brown bag it, or was there something on the menu at Freiburg Academy that was like must eat Friday? Or
So I do not think I ever ate in the cafeteria at Freiburg Academy.
really?
Seriously.
Was it open campus? So you
It
could,
was. We walked downtown.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Ooh.
We always went to like the pizza shed. My friend's dad owned it, so my whole group of friends, we were there every day for lunch.
Were you really?
Yep.
Nice option.
Right.
Brittany?
I would say probably typical kid, it was the pizza. I did,
Big square pizza day.
yeah, I did utilize the lunch programs and the cafeteria and what have you. I was never a bring your own lunch kind of kid. My kid's just completely different, but
Did
yeah,
you guys have salad bar?
we did.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Alex Platt, who's also running for school board, he said he really liked the salad bar.
yeah, we got a good upgrade when we moved.
To the new school?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, good. All right, going to finish up here with the biggie, Article 14.
Yep.
That one is, do you support changing the elementary school names from Lakeside and Mountainside to Pine Tree Primary and Conway Intermediate? I was on that committee that named
Yes.
the schools.
And you came up with it, did you?
I think I was the one who threw out the names, yeah.
Yeah. So thank you, Lord.
Yeah. Nobody likes the names. Everyone tells me, I hate the names, but
They've grown on me. Okay. So when we went through this whole process, we went through many different versions of the names and all these. I voted down each name every
did?
single time until the only time I voted to keep them was once they were already in place and we had already submitted the papers to the state and somebody wanted to bring it back. And I said, no, it's already done. I mean, I never liked them. I always thought that the names should have been changed. And it's unfortunate that we didn't have enough time to involve a lot of the community, but I feel like that would have been the right way. And maybe even waiting to do that might have been the right thing. And I don't know. It's done, it's over, but I don't support changing them. I wish that the community had more involvement and that they were more meaningful names that everybody loved.
Brittany?
I also do not support changing the names again. I think that they mean something to the kids now, and I can understand where a lot of people come from regarding, the history. But I also feel that we could definitely come up with a way to still preserve that history in a way more meaningful way than the names. Like I envision plaques being made up with the detailed history and old pictures of the buildings throughout the years, and because we all know that kids, whether we like it or not, they're wandering in the hallway, and there's probably more of a chance of them actually taking the time to read it when they should be somewhere else.
Yeah.
But I do think it is a good way to still keep the history, but also keep the kids happy
Yeah.
where they are.
So I recently heard that, I can't even remember which school it was, but I believe it's in the middle school, that one of the teachers has created a room with the history of all of the schools in picture frames. And
Oh my gosh.
So it's all there. I don't know who's getting to see it. I don't know if the middle schoolers go in there regularly or if it's still
Probably
a work in
Sarah Lynn
progress.
Smith is probably
Yes.
working on
My
that.
guess would, yeah.
Yeah,
She's
she's
really great.
amazing. Yeah, she's
Yeah.
amazing. So we're almost up out of time. I want to give each of you one last opportunity to talk to the voters. Anything you want to say? Get out and vote for me. I appreciate your support. Or Brittany, you fire first.
Okay. So I would really appreciate the community's support. I know that I bring a lot of passion. I bring a lot of energy. I bring a lot of transparency, and I think that can probably be loved or hated by people, but I do think that it's important, especially right now. And I will take my commitment very seriously, as I do everything else. So.
Great. Mel?
I can echo some of that. I'm very for transparency, and some people may love or hate me because I do like to call things out that I don't see that are super clear or that might have possibly been discussed elsewhere, and then it's brought to a meeting like everybody should know what's going on, and it's not. And the public hates that, and I hate it too. It's not right, and it's happening more and more. So I feel like if you vote for me, I'll be the stick in the mud, and I'll be I'll be the pain in the butt, but I'll get things done, and you'll know what's going on. And my aim is to help families love our schools.
That's a pretty good aim. I think everyone should aim for that. So I want to wish you both best of luck and good luck on April 8th. Polls are open from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. We vote at the Town Garage and Center, Conway. So our guests today have been Brittany Hodge and Melanie Lebel. Thank you guys so much. Good luck at the polls. Please, everyone, get out and vote. For Rob Struble, I'm Lloyd Jones. Thanks for watching. Enjoy your day.
Thank you.
Thank you.